Welcome to the Cabrera Lab Podcast.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
What is up?
No, I'm feeling good.
And it's been weeks.
It's been but people might not realize we've been actually out of the studio for almost a month.
Yes.
We've had a lot of things, and we were traveling,
I've
and
been in the mountains.
I did a keynote at a cool conference. So
It's been a while.
and it's summer.
I love the studio.
I do too. It's
fun.
good to be back.
It's fun.
All right, so we're back. Over the last few weeks, I've been getting a lot of feedback and things about the last few episodes that have been playing while we were gone.
The culture code.
Culture code. People want us to finish out the culture code. So we're going to, you ask, we'll deliver, which is actually part of our culture code,
Yes.
ironically.
Yes.
That's kind of meta.
That's so meta.
That was a little meta if you think
That
about
was
it.
a lot meta.
Okay. So as a refresher, if people are coming in at this one, we have a thing called the GOAT code,
Yeah.
which is basically
culture
central
code.
central tenets of our culture as an organization.
Yes. The goat being our mascot.
Yes, because goats are badass.
Yeah.
And they can climb
We
mountains.
saw some goats in Montana. Some mountain goats.
Some real ones.
Very-
Wild. Okay, so we've done a lot of this. We're going to finish it up so that people can get the whole code, which people have been asking for. So where we left off is get the gets.
Oh. Yeah.
And what it means is self-care meets systems thinking. I'm going to read this to you.
Yeah.
Get the gets. This is about fueling the whole machine, which is you. You don't rise to your goals. You fall into your systems. So what systems are you running? This, the code is your checklist. Get sleep, get smart, get moving, get nourished, get outside, get connected, get challenged, and get laid.
Yeah.
These aren't luxuries. They're maintenance.
Yeah.
Take care of your capacity so you can show up full and ready to go.
Yeah, we did a whole episode on the gets, so we won't spend much time here, but you can watch that episode on the gets. The gets was I took a year-long sabbatical to research the science behind longevity and all kinds of things, and these were the things that kind of came out, taking a systems lens or a systems perspective on wellness and longevity and health. And these are the things you need to get more of in your life.
Yes.
And so if you think about VMCL, the capacity drives the mission drives the vision, the learning drives the capacity. The gets are really personal capacity. Like if you get these things in your life, you're just going to have way more energy, way more capacity. Your little battery pack is going to be off the charts. And so
Jetpack.
yeah, so the get the gets is one of our culture codes because, we really believe that people should take care of themselves, not work themselves to death kind of thing, because you work much better when you're getting the gets because you just have more. Literally, you're like a battery and you just have like way more energy and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I think that's the way you have more energy. You're you show up fueled and, you're not, I know if I sit, I don't know why, for some reason, all of a sudden my body is like, you do not want to sit. Like if I sit, I feel worse than if I walk on the treadmill for 5 miles during a meeting. It's just
100%.
like my whole, so yes.
Yeah, so that's why we always walk on treadmills while we're in meetings and things like that. We have standing desks and, just get the gets.
Get the gets.
If you want more information on the 12 gets that come out of the science of longevity and the science of wellness and all that kind of stuff, that's not really my expertise. I just took a systems lens on, I wanted to understand the research of what it actually said, what's good for you, what do you do more of. You can stay out of the hospital, stay out of the doctor's office, stay out of the medical system. Change your nutrition is the big driver. Don't eat all this poison that people are feeding us, and you just have boundless energy. And so watch the episode on that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
If you want to know more about the specifics.
It's a good one. When I was out on the road for a conference, and about 2 or 3 people said, "Hey, I love the Gets episode." And I was like, "I don't even know you, but that's awesome."
That's
which is great. Okay, the next one is Be Vitruvian, which is sort of an extension of Get the Gets, right? So let's expand that. So go Vitruvian. Inspired by Da Vinci's drawing, this is about whole human fitness: physical, mental, emotional, and motivational, the full stack.
Yeah.
At GOAT, which is what we call ourselves, we don't want to just be sharp thinkers. We want to be full spectrum humans, balanced, resilient, and adaptable.
Yeah.
Being Vitruvian means being able to meet any challenge in any domain because you've trained sort of across them all.
Yeah.
It's not about being perfect, it's about being whole.
Yeah, Vitruvian is one of the oldest gets. I call it Vitruvian just because the Vitruvian man that Da Vinci did is kind of like, it sort of seems systemic and holistic and that type of thing. But what I think is important, and you can break the human being into a lot of different categories, but there's 4 that are really the big categories, right? So there's the cognitive, there's the physical, there's the emotional, and there's one that a lot of people leave out, which is the motivational, right? And of course, those can break down into many more categories. You could think about your economic self and your spiritual self and your, whatever other categories you want to break it into. But Vitruvian is sort of saying, be a well-rounded, square the circle kind of person, right? So, I mean, obviously the gets get at all of these things as well, right. But being a well-rounded person is something that I think we're missing in this age. Sometimes specialization and over-specialization is what we get rewarded for. Yeah. But being well-rounded is so critical, and there's a reason why it's so critical. If we do away with the false notions of intelligence, right? These IQ notions of intelligence, which there's not a tremendous amount of support for in real life if you take it out of the context of like we made a test that measures what we want to measure so that we can say that it measures the thing that we want to say that it measures. But what does it mean to be intelligent? Well, first let's change the word because, there's a better word, smart. That's what regular people say. That guy's smart. That gal's smart, Yeah. So what does it mean to be smart? Well, it doesn't mean all the things we think it means. It doesn't mean that you have degrees. It doesn't mean you have accolades. It doesn't mean that you whatever. It means fundamentally that you can adapt to any situation you're in. Well, let's say that a person is really physically able. Mm-hmm. But they're not cognitively able. Yeah. Right? So they don't have the mental fitness, but they have the physical fitness to handle a particular situation. Yeah. Or the reverse. Let's say they're really mentally fit, but they don't have the physical fitness, so they can't adapt. Right. Right? They can conceive how they could adapt, but they can't physically adapt. But then we miss out, like, you can be hyper cognitively smart and even physically fit, mentally fit, physically fit. And if you have low emotional smarts, boy, your lack of emotional intelligence or emotional smarts is going to just completely kibosh everything, right? Yes, it will affect. And then the fourth one is what I call motivational, and motivation's a big area of study in human development. But I'll give you an example of what that means. It's like, what if you're a person who's only motivated by money? Right. Are you going to have the best life if you're only motivated by money? So you want you want to be metacognitive, so using your cognitive side and emotionally there to sort of question and be aware of, well, what motivates me and why does it motivate me? Am I doing all this just for ego, or am I getting some enjoyment, or is there more to life than chasing check boxes or dreams or money or whatever? Those are going to lead to kind of pitfalls. Well, I also think, especially when you have teenagers, totally. When you think about motivational as a part of human development, one of the biggest things that you and I talk about is intrinsic versus extrinsic motivations. Because when they're teenagers or even middle school now, the extrinsic stuff becomes so overwhelming and so important to them that they can start to lose sight of so true that internal thing that keeps them going, the kind of person they want to be, the way they want to show up in the world. So I think when you say, and I also think people totally don't even think about motivational as a part of, it doesn't even they think factor. Of the three, right? Physical. They barely even think of the three. Well, true. But I also think we work against that a little bit, because I know when I was growing up, which I know what my age is and all of that, I was taught, be good at something. Yeah. And so you get this one thing idea. So you're an athlete, or you're a professor, or you're this, or you're that. And there wasn't a lot of emphasis on this
whole human being in that sense, in that way.
Yeah, and again, it's like you've got to embrace the paradox of things. I always talk about paradox and reconciliation of paradox. It's really powerful. It's a great thing to be really good at one thing, but at the expense of being somewhat well-rounded, that's dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I always think of, if I'm going to mimic somebody, I want to talk to them on their deathbed. In other words, if I'm going to adopt something that somebody that I go, God, that person's really cool, they're doing cool things. Yeah, it might look cool today. Right. It might look like something I want to adopt today, but I want to hear from them on their deathbed.
Yeah, like
whether or not they regret, whether or not they wish they had a little more, not balance, but well-roundedness, whether or not they had more awareness of why they were doing what they were doing, or were they just chasing these essentially dragons in themselves to fulfill some hole that was missing, or, and if we just get a little bit of metacognition and awareness of our thinking and our emotional state, sometimes those motivations can really be changed for the better, because we can say, of course, like everybody, I want to achieve that thing. Yeah. But why do I want to achieve that thing? And how much pain do I want to suffer to achieve that thing? And is it because other people extrinsically are going to give me like I'm one of those orca whales? Am I going to get a Scooby snack?
No, it's a fish. Orca whales get fish, not Scooby snacks.
Well, right.
Metaphorically,
the fish are Scooby snacks. That's true. I guess technically a Scooby snack is a dog biscuit.
Yeah.
But to an orca, a fish is a Scooby snack, right? So, what was I don't even know what I was saying.
You're talking about extrinsic versus, at the end of your life, what have you missed? What do you wish you had done differently? I also think it goes back into either or versus and both. You can be all of those things: physical, cognitive, emotional, know about your motivations. You don't have to have, a lopsidedness where you're only really, really good at one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be really good at one of them, but you should also pay attention to
Or you can be good at one thing and have those general skills, right?
Yes.
I've studied the same thing for my entire life. So, pretty locked in.
Specialized,
super specialized.
Yeah.
Almost as a hobby, I've tried to work on these Vitruvian well-roundedness. And I would say, as one of the core principles of us raising our children, we try to raise them in a way that's more Vitruvian.
Yes.
Because I think society can cause them to be very not Vitruvian.
Yes, that's
right.
What I was saying.
Alina was really great at school. And, Cornell kind of took that and ran with it when she went to Cornell. Mm-hmm. And in many ways, it was a disservice to her, because she ignored her body. She just ignored all those other things.
Well, another way to think about that is
4 years, and the system encouraged her to do it.
Yes.
And I don't think that was necessarily good for her overall development.
To become only focused on that piece.
Yeah, and to be only
because in high school and middle school, she was
that.
Doing different types of
totally.
sports.
She was doing sports and all kinds of things. Yeah,
had other things going on. Yeah, but Cornell was pretty centrally focused.
So society can have this influence on you to be like, oh, we're going to give you snacks, and that's why motivational is so important, because you go, wait a minute, how important are these snacks? And maybe I need my internal snacks.
Yeah.
Because those internal snacks, like you said, are way better in the long run than the external snacks.
Plus, I'm pretty sure actual Scooby Snacks are goop.
Yeah, that's true. All Scooby Snacks. But unless they're for orca, and then that's pretty good protein.
If it's a fish, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, if you're in the grocery
orca
store,
Scooby snack is
I'm not kidding you. The people, I guess Warner Bros. No, whoever does Scooby-Doo, they realized that people were starting to use Scooby snacks and regular. They actually now have produced a box of dog treats called Scooby.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which was not the case when we were younger. They were not.
Which, by the way, Goop is expansive, because all dog food today, except for these special dog foods that cost $1 million, is effectively Goop.
Oh, it's disgusting.
I mean, it's not good for dogs, just like it's not good for human.
No.
And they all say oh, this is the best one, and the veterinary people recommend it.
Yeah.
You're this hyper-focused person, and you're recommending essentially Goop for dogs.
Well, and then they want to treat all of their allergies with meds
Exactly.
because the dogs are like scratching
Same
themselves.
system as we have. Like
We're doing the dogs
on
what
the
we're
front
doing to
end.
humans.
Poison them on the front end.
Treat it on the
And
end.
treat it on the back end and make money in both cases.
So the next one is make Monergy. Monergy
Yes.
is a technical term.
It's a term that we made up. Yeah.
So money equals energy. The reason we make money isn't to buy more stuff. It's so we have the energy to create things that make the world better. Money is energy to do good. We make Monergy to improve the lives of others and make the world a better place.
This one's important to me. I grew up did a bunch of growing up, at least in the Silicon Valley at the time when it was, going from apricot orchards to what it is today.
The tech, the tech.
Yeah. It went from a little sleepy valley to the tech industry. Mm-hmm. And it's very money focused, of course. And I remember being very influenced by that and thinking, what is going on? Like, what is the deal with all this, like the money focus? And of course, money's important, and we all need money to survive. But Monergy helps you understand that the reason we're working isn't for money.
Right.
It's for what money can provide in terms of capacity. It gives you the energy. It's essentially energy that allows you the freedom to do the things that you want to be able to do in your organization.
Right.
Whatever your organization is. So Monergy is almost like the mission version of money. Why are we trying to earn money? Why are we trying to make money? Like every organization has to find some way. Even in science, you have to have some way to fund your science, or no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Even when people say, well, we're a nonprofit, we're a profit. Well, you still have to earn energy so that you can do things.
Right. You need to be able to reinvest in your goals and dreams.
So Make Monergy is a great culture code just to remind people and focus people on, like, why are we doing what we're doing? Oh, it's to build capacity, to have the capacity to be able to do the exciting work that is the mission work or the vision work.
And I think Monergy for me is important in that it does that. It connects it. It takes what you're doing on the ground and literally connects it to where you're trying to go. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's an important way to think about it. And we've worked with a lot of organizations before on vision and mission and all of these things. And I know you and I have said there's a certain subset of types of CEOs organizations where their vision is $1 billion or their vision is this or that. And that's a different way of thinking about it than Monergy, right? Yeah. So that's money in and of itself, just for the sake of having money. That's not sort of money to facilitate a bigger vision. Yeah. This is one of my favorite ones. This is one that I actually have taken to heart in recent times because I'm getting older, which is better every day. Yeah. Better every day. We get to the grind to get better every day. Progress isn't always flashy. Sometimes it's microscopic, but it does add up. Marginal gains done consistently become exponential growth. So we don't do stasis here because stasis is just slow motion decline. Instead, we ask, what's one thing I can improve today? One thing I can fix, learn, tweak, or build on? We do that, and then tomorrow we do it again.
This is so important. Sometimes I call this radical incrementalism. Yeah. And if you study all of the system sciences, you see that, boy, a lot of these systems, a lot of these outcomes, a lot of these emergent properties that we like so much or don't like so much are the result of incremental effects, like the combination of collective, incremental, tiny, micro makes the macro kind of effects. And so better every day just reminds us, you don't win the Super Bowl by just showing up and winning the Super Bowl. You win the Super Bowl by 1 yard at a time, one touchdown at a time, one first down at a time, one touchdown at a time, one game at a time. And that applies to everything. Radical incrementalism applies to everything. Yeah. And it's frustrating sometimes because I think, if we taught concepts like that to little kids and as people are growing up, so that when you're an adult, it's just, it's just who you are. it would save people so much pain and suffering.
It really would.
You know?
It really would. The thing I like about it, and this one really has been important to me over the last, I would say, 3 years or so, because you get to a certain age and you start to sort of morph into a different, you're moving into a different way of thinking about things in your life. And so, like, you got in the gym and you started doing a lot of stuff. And then I started to get in the gym. And I'm like, okay, why can't I do 20 push-ups?
Yeah.
And instead of being focused on not 20, I'm like, okay, can I do 1 today?
Yeah.
Can I do 2 tomorrow? Can I do 2 the next day? And so just that mindset of, I'm not going to get to 20 right away. I'm going to get to 20 by doing 1 at a time and another one and another one and another one. And that's equally important. Like, we've talked about my to-do list. Mm-hmm. So I used to beat myself up. I didn't get all of my stuff done. Well, but I made progress on a lot of things. And so it's a different way of managing yourself.
Well, it's so pervasive. The opposite of better every day is so pervasive. I mean, it's that we're going to have the quick fixes. Mm-hmm. We're not going to practice. We're not going to, that I'm good at something or I'm not. Right? I mean, a lot of young people even have this idea that, I tried that, I'm not good at it. Well, nobody's good at it.
Right.
0 people are good at it.
Yeah.
Until they practice.
Right.
So what is practice? What is the concept of practice? Practice is about incremental betterment. Yeah. Better every day.
Yeah.
So you realize that even especially in systems thinking. I mean, this is something that our research has shown, and it's a very important finding, which is, for 50 years we thought, we just teach people these concepts.
Yeah.
Well, nothing happened, and we're still doing that in almost every discipline. I'll teach them the concept. Nothing is happening because we're not giving them things that they can practice.
Right.
Right? And the systems thinking that we now are understanding today, scientifically, is, it's not about this concept and that concept and this concept and that and this discipline and that. It's really about practice these things and practice them every day, and pretty soon you're going to be at 20.
Yeah.
20 push-ups.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, wow, like 5 months ago I couldn't do 1. Now I'm doing 20. And then when you get 20, getting 40 is like right around the corner.
Yeah, I'm not there.
And you realize, I'm saying there's this compounding effect. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with money. It's the same thing with weight loss. It's the same thing with everything.
Yeah.
Right? But we have this mentality of, I want to be thin tomorrow, Ozempic. And by the way, we just heard studies that people are going blind from taking it for multiple years.
Yeah.
And it's reducing the thickness of their heart wall and all kinds of, but this is because we don't have this, we haven't practiced better every day.
That's right.
Right?
That's exactly
if we
right.
practice better every day, and the other benefits are you're like more empathic for yourself. You're like, hey, this is where I'm at today. And it's better than it was yesterday.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Instead of, I'm not here, I'm a loser,
Yeah. And that's
which we all do to ourselves.
But that becomes a negative reinforcing.
And it becomes a negative reinforcing thing, and it just kiboshes your progress.
That's why better every day.
Better every day.
It's not on anything on the wall. I have it on a sticker on my water bottle.
Yeah, that's a big one for us.
That's a big one for me. This is another good one. Be your own goat. What does it really mean to be a goat? What does it really mean to be great? It means to be your own goat. It's not about ego. It's about authenticity, knowing your strengths, your quirks, your superpowers, and owning them fully. You don't need to copy. You don't need to conform or chase others' ideas of excellence. You have to understand who you are and then become the greatest of your time.
There's so much I could say about this one, but I built my whole life around this one because I just didn't fit in, and I didn't. For whatever reason, especially when I was young, I didn't understand why I couldn't do what other people could do. And, that kind of forces you to either crater or to be like, okay, well, doing it the way they're saying to do it isn't working. So I'm just going to have to trust like the intrinsic. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Let's do it that way.
Yeah.
I think it's important. Sometimes, obviously, to listen and learn from others, especially those who have gone before you. Yeah. That's an important trait. But it's also really important in life to be like, you know what? I'm going to follow my path, my intuition, my metacognition. I'll try it. If somebody says, hey, try it this way, I'll try it. But if it doesn't work, that doesn't mean, I can't figure out a different way that works for me. And I think so often we try to mimic everybody else.
Yes.
And sometimes you just got to do it your way. A lot of times you got to do it your way.
Yeah, and I think we've said this to our kids. There's only one of you. Yeah. Just be the best you that you can be and compete with yourself. Yeah. Get better every day on the things that you care about. Like, that's about being your own goat, identifying sort of who you want to be.
Yeah, embrace embrace all your quirks, because so many people are trying to hide their quirks and hide their insufficiencies, and I'm like, I can't sit still. I can't sit in a classroom. I literally could not take classes. I have a PhD.
I know.
I cannot take classes. They drive me crazy sitting in a classroom where you can't engage 100% with brutal intensity in the topic that you're talking about is very hard for me.
Yeah.
So you might think to yourself, like, well, go do something completely different. But you find a way that's unique to you, right? And you can learn the material without having to do it that way, even though everybody says you have to do it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be your own goat.
Yeah, I think it's insulating yourself also partially from all of that extrinsic stuff that gets in the way. Okay, let's see. Where are we next? We are at...
Also, by the way, organizationally, culturally, I think that's a really important one.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you get a person and you're like, well, we hired you for this role. And it turns out, like, this person is a great person, great character, great, all these things that are hard to teach they have, but they got hired for this particular thing, and you just go, this is so the wrong job for this person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, find them the right job, and they're going to sing, you know what I mean? So, like, it's not just the individual being their own goat, but organizationally as a culture, if you kind of go, like, I want this person to like, breathe themselves into the organization. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To a point where they're going to be the most effective at being them.
Right.
Where they'll be the least effective is being a role.
Yes, which is why I think, we just literally jokingly said we're not going to have an HR department. But we have a very developmental approach to things. Totally. Like, let's develop people's talent. And not necessarily only in a specific role, but help them find their fit. Because the things that are hard to find, character, work ethic, things that you can't really teach, they show up with that, then you can figure out. Because then they fit culturally in that sense.
Absolutely. And then if they have these culture codes that we're talking about, like I can teach them, whatever, how to do whatever thing. That's a big one. That's a big one, both individually for yourself, but also culturally for the organization.
I think so. We should do a whole nother thing.
Yeah, you can do a whole episode on that.
Okay, this is one that sounds weird, but people say it all the time, which is eat our own dog food, right?
Yep.
Which means we live by what we teach. We use the tools, methods, and values we share with the world. Because if we don't trust what we're building enough to use it ourselves, why would anyone else? This is about walking the talk. Not just marketing, but living it. Integrity in motion.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, to me, this is just like, don't be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Like, if you're selling something or preaching something or extolling the virtues of something or whatever word you want to use for you're passionate about doing something or getting other people to do something, you better do it.
Right.
Right? I mean, you can't. Yeah, so I think this is a Silicon Valley expression that eat your own dog food. Yeah. It just means, like, if you're selling dog food, you got to eat the dog. I mean, I guess if you're a dog food company, you wouldn't technically eat the dog food, but
your dog would eat the dog food.
If you're a restaurant, your own dog would eat the dog food.
You would feed it to your dog.
So, like, if you're in a restaurant and you won't eat the stuff,
that's a problem.
That's a real problem, right? Like, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, but here's what drives me crazy about this one, because this term came out of the Silicon Valley, from what I understand. And I just literally saw an article yesterday about what the people in Silicon Valley are doing to keep their kids off of the very technologies and things that they're creating for all of our kids.
It's hypocritical and criminal. Right? You're just like, oh, this is good for everybody else's kids, but not mine.
There's something wrong with that.
There's something very wrong with that.
We need to take
That's not eating your own dog food.
No. It's the
So if
opposite.
you're producing something that you yourself wouldn't use, you should think about it.
Yeah. Or you wouldn't feed your dog, or you wouldn't let your kids use it. Yeah. Don't give it to other people's kids.
Yeah. Or you don't use it because you use some other product that's better than it. Like, you're just like, what are you doing? And then they start to relate, right? Because you're like, well, what's your motivational Vitruvian intelligence if that's what you're doing? You're just like totally fine with putting things into the world that you're not okay with.
To make money.
Just to make money, just to have some ego boost or whatever, like. And again, I'm not anti-money. I'm just saying, I don't think you're going to be happy. On your deathbed.
Yeah, this deathbed thing is kind of. I got to think about that.
It's just like beginning with the end in mind. It's like when you get to your deathbed. When I get to my deathbed, first of all, I'm going to be kicking and screaming. Because I'm going to be trying to live one more hour or one more day.
One more minute.
Because it's awesome.
Yeah.
But I want to be like zero regrets.
Right. That's why people have bucket lists.
Yeah, like zero regrets.
Yeah. You'll be like, hell yeah.
I did it all. I did it all. I did all the things I wanted to do. I wish I had more time, whatever. But like, you're good. I don't. Yeah, you want to be good.
Yeah.
You want to be good.
Well, and you want people around you.
Yeah.
Because of the emotional intelligence. Yeah, like the ability to have good relationships. Right.
Yeah, imagine if you just imagine like all those things, those four things. Like when you're there, are you feeling emotionally fulfilled? Are you feeling cognitively fulfilled? Are you feeling motivationally fulfilled? Did you reach some of your dreams?
Right.
But did you also balance things, or did you only reach your dreams but you didn't help others reach their dreams, so there's nobody around? Or that's the balance that I think to some extent our modern society helps us lose that balance. And so it's a fight, just like fitness is a bit of a fight, just like nutrition, just like all of it. It's a struggle to keep the balance.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Hundo P. That's your thing. Hundo P. Okay, here's the next one, which we've talked a lot about. Yeah. Micro makes the macro.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we've even done a whole podcast on this. If not, we've talked about it in multiple podcasts. But it comes up a lot because this is kind of one of the prime drivers of complexity science, is that like the little things make the big thing. The emergent property is driven by the little things. This is the sort of structural reason why better every day and radical incrementalism works, is because it's the little things that make the big things oftentimes.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there's feedback between the little things and the big things. So if you have clarity at the big level, sometimes that helps with the micro things. And that's why vision and mission are so important. But micro makes the macro is really just giving you an understanding that all the systems you're dealing with in an organization are complex systems.
Yeah.
CASs, complex adaptive systems. And if you lose sight that really the way those systems are behaving at the macro level is driven by the collective dynamics of what's happening at the micro, then you are just going to get it wrong all the time.
So let me give you a couple of examples. One is we have a vision, 8 billion systems thinkers above the standard.
Yep.
That's our vision. That's what motivates us. It's what we're working on. But the way we're going to get to that is the things that we do on the ground as a team over and over again, the daily work, the mission-based work. That's what's going to get us there.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Same thing if you think about disease, when you have a disease that's spreading. Well, the way that you're going to actually eradicate that disease is by changing the behavior of people in those exposed areas.
Totally.
The things that they do on the daily basis that will stop the spread of disease. Hand washing, masking, any of those things. So micro makes the macro.
Yep.
And I think the reason that's important is because we get sort of distracted or focus on the macro and forget that it's the micro that's going to lead to it.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
And I think it's just such a powerful thing.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I think that is a wrap.